Welcome back, Bob the Vaping Computer Guy. Today we're taking a look at a nifty little single 18650 mod called the CigGo Tattoo 75 watt. So this is really nice. I've been really enjoying this. I do have two issues with it. After we dive down to the table, we'll come back up, we'll talk about it. One thing that's subjective, and one thing that I don't like that should be improved, but wouldn't stop me from using it. So let's dive down to the table, take a look at it up close, then we'll talk about it. Okay, so this is the CigGo Tattoo 75. Simple box, the manual, which I believe came underneath. But all you got in there is the mod, the manual. So there you go. Now, this one, I've been using the heck out of this thing, so it's going to be a little dirty, a little bit of juice on it. But let's go over it. Pretty simple mod. I even got juice all in there, as you can see. I didn't clean it all up yet. I just took it off my table. I've been vaping this thing like crazy. Juice all over that thing. This finish feels like a silicone wrap. Okay? Not squishy. It's hard, but it feels like a silicone wrap, and you feel like you can almost slide it off, but you can't. It's part of the device. Like I said, it's not squishy, but yet you still have a nice feel to it. You know, this is going to give you a good grip, but not too much of a grip. It's just perfect. It really is. All right, 510 on there. Let's see. That's okay. Spring loaded. Not a big throw on it, but it is spring loaded. All right. You got your up and down buttons. You got some CigGo and logo designs on here. Your button here, and you see the little indentation on the material around it. Right. Button's nice and clicky. It's got a little bit of a wiggle. You know, if you go like this, you can feel a little bit of a wiggle on it, but it feels really good. Got your USB port for upgrades and charging. Now it doesn't look like it, but this top one, I'll show you here. Okay, the whole thing, this is actually does slide. See that? And it feels pretty good. So it's easy just to slide down any one of those, pop out your battery. All right. Here's your inside of your sled, very nice. Battery door pops in good. Had no problems with it. This one is a positive down. Okay, positive down. Pop that in. There's your display. Let me clean that off a little bit. Right now, the flicker is the refresh rate difference between this and the camera. There is no flicker. It is a solid image on there. There's your battery indicator. You have 4 dots showing your battery. R resistance 0 ohms. Nothing in there right now. Okay. I press fire. That's your little error there that there's nothing on there. There's no resistance. Up and down, 71 watts. If I hold it, now you're going in 1 watt increments, which is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Up to 75. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you get locked. Okay. There is no real off. Locked is considered off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. CigGo. Resistance. Now, over here's the down. More juice. Look at that. The down button. Down and fire. Turns off your display. It still works, but you won't see the display. Might save a little bit of battery power. I just locked it because I pressed it so many times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and it goes right back to being on. So down in the fire just turns off the display. Up in the fire, and you're back. I'm sorry, down in the fire again, and you're back. Up in the fire. Level 13. Level 13. We'll talk more about that when we go back up, what that's about, okay? Press both buttons together. And voltage. All right, hold on, let's do that again. Both buttons together. All right, nickel. Both buttons together. Titanium. Both buttons together. As you see, we're just toggling through the modes. All right, so again, both buttons. Stainless steel, both buttons. power mode again. And that's basically it. That's all the commands you got on there. It's extremely simple. It feels great in the hand if you like to hold it this way and trigger it, okay? Feels great. If you want to hold it this way and thumb it, also feels great. I wish you could reverse this display and have it the other way, because I find I like to, let's say you're triggering it and you're holding it like this, you end up seeing, you have to go like this to see, you know, your resistance or how your power is set. I wish you could reverse it so you could look at it like this, because I'm a righty. For a lefty, it'd probably be better this way, but you can't reverse the display. So there you go. No venting on this. USB port down here, but there is no venting. All right. We'll talk about that too when we get back up top. So there you go. That's the CigGo Tattoo 75. Let's go back up and talk about what I really like and what I don't like about it. All right. So first thing that you might like about this thing is that display. I think it's just really cool. They do have this also in the dual 18650 version. This one goes for about 30 bucks. I think I got mine on efun.top, which is a China site, and you know you got to wait 2 to 3 weeks to get it. I think I paid a little extra in shipping to get it in about 2 weeks. But I'm really liking this. It feels great in the hand. If you like to trigger it, it feels great triggering it like that. If you like to thumb it, it thumbs like that. It's working great. I do have a bigger tank on it right now. You might want to use something smaller if you care about the aesthetics. I still like my big RTAs, but I've really been enjoying this. So I didn't give you dimensions up front, so let's do that now. Let's zero out my... All right, so right now I have on there, so you got 24.5 millimeters on top, okay? Takes a 24 millimeter tank, no problem. It's a 24 millimeter tank that I have on there right now, which is the Tornado RTA by iJoy, and no overhang on any sides. So even from the center pin to the side here, 24 millimeter tanks are absolutely perfect on there. You got 24.5 on the device. The height of the device is about 88 millimeters by 42. So 88 by 42 by 24.5 millimeters. All right, feels great. I love it. I've been using the heck out of this thing. I don't know what else to say. The buttons where they're placed are fine. This button is nice and clicky. Works great. I gotta take another vape. I have not hit these buttons accidentally at all. I've been using this almost exclusively for the last week or so. Even like this, you're really, squeezing it hard, you're really not hitting those buttons. I mean, you could, but, if you're trying to. But no problems there. The things I have problems with, I wish, this doesn't make a big difference, but when you're triggering it like this, the display is this way. So I'd like to be able to vape on it, go like this and see what my power setting is, what the resistance is, but it's not. It's upside down that way. If you're a lefty, you're vaping, then it's fine. All right? I'm not a lefty, so I wish I could reverse that display. Can't reverse the display. The other thing, and the only thing that this is a con, there is no real venting on this thing. There's no venting here, maybe slightly into the USB port from the bottom, but it doesn't look like it. And I have had times, even this battery, I always do that like a baby bottle, slightly warm. I'm vaping, now again, this is probably a 0.2 ohm build in there, 0.22 ohm build, and I'm vaping at 66 watts right now, but I've been vaping this thing at 70 watts, hitting on it for a while. I pop out that battery, and the battery's a little warm. Not dangerously warm, but you really want to make sure you're using a high amp battery in here, because it does get warm. There just doesn't feel like there's any real venting, and there should be. It would be nicer if there was some kind of venting in there, but there isn't, and the thick device and silicone is just keeping it, the heat compacted in there. If you're vaping it, 50 watts or below with a decent battery, I don't think you'd have any problems. When you're going towards the max, 65 to 75 watts, that battery does get warm if you're a chain vapor and you're going back-to-back vaping. If you look at that, pressing the up button and the fire, level 14. Did you see that? Level 14. Let me explain what that's about. That level thing, that's the words you see after you vape. As you vape on this thing, the more you vape on it, depending how many puffs you do, it eventually says different words. for example, let's vape on it and show you. Would help if I held it right side up. Let's try it again. Sometimes you get nothing. Okay, now that my room is all foggy, so they don't. Their site is really hard to find stuff on. It's not really well organized. But going by the Banshee mod, a different mod, they have 4 different versions of the words or the firmware on there. So if I'm looking at the Banshee mod, I'm assuming either this is a new one. So either you can do it on this with the same software, or you have to wait till they come out with the new software. At this time, I don't know. When I find out, I will let you know. But what they're saying is there's a couple of versions. There's a clean version, which has nothing after vaping. They have versions that contain 9 words, such as, well, you saw some of them, baby, love you, nanu nanu, beast, bobo, lady, vape, 0mg. I've seen all of those. I have not seen, they have one listed here that says FACKU. FACU. Okay? And as you get to different levels, and there's 99 levels from what I understand, it'll say different things. I don't know how many puffs makes it go up in each level. Then they have other levels that have, you can get it to say it faster. They have stay, with you, not for, forever, dear, marry me, stuff like that. It's ridiculous. It's silly. I don't know if they think people are going to think that's cool, but that's what they did. So you got words in there, depending how often you've used it. As you used it more and more, they're saying, you know, if you get to level 99, you get to see all the words. So there you go. That's a gimmick. It looked a little strange in the beginning. It's just a gimmicky thing. It doesn't affect your vape or the use of the product at all. Aside from the battery heat thing on there, I've been loving this. And, you know, I've been paying attention to the battery. My battery does get a little warm. Not warm enough where I would worry about it, but warm enough where if I realize, you know, in the last 5 minutes, I've taken, you know, 15 hits off of this thing. I've just been vaping every 10 seconds, which I do sometimes. You know, then I start to think, oh, I hope that battery's okay, and I pop it out and I feel it's a little warm. If you want a dual battery mod, the batteries wouldn't get warm at all vaping at that level and that ohms, that resistance. But so there you go. A little bit of a heat issue in there. Really wish they just had some. All they needed to do was put a little venting, you know, thing on here on both sides, and that probably would have solved the problem to let the heat out. You know, you wouldn't want to do it up here anywhere on the silicone. By the way, this, you know, it looks like where the writing is, like it might be squishy there. It's not. It's hard. So there's a hard plastic under there between the actual LEDs and the outside coating. But the outside coating is nice. It's easy to clean. Works well. For $30. If you're looking for a single 18650 device, something that's different, something that has a nice cool display on it, $30 or so, you know, maybe a little more if you're buying it directly in the States, you can't beat it. I think it works good with every tank I have. I don't mind the size. It feels great in the hand. It is a very comfortable mod to use. The grip on it is nice. The shape is nice. I really do like it. The battery indicator is not in percentage. You got those little 4 dots there. See, 1 dot is missing now. The battery went down. Once 1 more disappears, that's usually, I figure, at 50%. That's where I charge my battery. I swap the battery out. So there you go. That's the CigGo Tattoo 75 watt mod. So there you go. Thanks a lot for watching. See you soon.